They were on their signature champs.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for joining us again on another Triple Threat podcast. As usual, I'm Chris. Beside me is Miggy, and across the table from me is Jay. This week on NBA scores from this past Monday, we had Phoenix against Boston. Boston won this game 120 to 112. Devin Booker did put up 40 points in a losing effort.
In a losing effort?
So big game for him. He did his best. However, on the other side of the court, Jaylen Brown had 41 points. So, dueling 40-point games in a tightly contested game. The Los Angeles Lakers against Houston Rockets, 100-92 victory for the Lakers. Doncic had 36 points. Men Thompson for the Rockets did have 19 points, 12 rebounds. However, the Rockets were without their arguably second-best player, Sengun. This was a very defensive game. 100 points, 92 points. It's pretty low scoring. 22 turnovers for the Lakers and 11 turnovers for Houston. Shooting percentages were also not great. Lakers shot 44% from the field and 23.5% from three. Houston shot 48% from the field and 19% from three. So, rough outings for both teams, but two strong Western Conference teams fighting for playoff position. It was an important game. Also this past Monday, San Antonio Spurs against the Los Angeles Clippers. Spurs come out with the victory 119 to 115. Wembanyama, big game from him. 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks. San Antonio did lead by 24 points with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter. They only won this game by 4 points. So the Clippers nearly brought this back behind Garland's 25 points and 10 assists. No Kawhi Leonard, though. He was still out with a sprained knee at the time. Stephen Castle did have 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists for the Spurs, though. So big games from some big players, which is good to see here at the end of the year. End of regular season, I suppose. This past Tuesday, Miami versus Charlotte. This was a blowout. Charlotte won by 30 points. 136 to 106. Tyler Hero had 20 points and 8 rebounds. LaMelo Ball, however, had 30 points and 13 assists. Charlotte shot 53% from the field and 40.5% from three, while Miami only shot 40% from the field and 19.5% from three. This was a lopsided victory, which does not bode well for the Heat, as Charlotte is one of the teams there in the East that they are tightly contested with, looking at that play-in spot.
Yep.
This past Tuesday as well, Phoenix 104 to Minnesota's 116. Devin Booker, another big game from him, 34 points. However, Phoenix is without Dylan Brooks, Grayson Allen, and Mark Williams, which 3 of their top 5 scorers. So Phoenix was playing shorthanded. Julius Randle had 32 points for Minnesota. Minnesota was also shorthanded. Anthony Edwards is out with knee inflammation. He's been out since early this week. I think he's out for potentially the rest of the regular season, although I'll talk a bit more about that later. Rudy Gobert had 19 rebounds in this contest.
That's solid. That's really solid.
Yeah, so that's pretty good for you, Miggy. Minnesota comes out with a win, and Gobert's getting 19 points for your fantasy team there.
Yeah, and it's my playoffs too, so.
Yeah. Philadelphia versus Denver. Blowout win. Denver won 124 to 96. Philadelphia's top scorer was Marjon Beauchamp with 16 points.
Your top scorer was 16 points?
Philadelphia's top scorer in this game at 16 points. Mind you, Philadelphia is playing without Paul George, without Joel Embiid, without Kelly Oubre Jr., and without Tyrese Maxey.
So they are and I mean short-handed.
Yes. That is 4... not just starters, that is your 4 main guys who are out for this game. Christian Brown for the Nuggets had 22 points. You can really tell that Denver did not have any difficulty with this game. Jokic only had 8 points and Jamal Murray only had 12. Both of them only took 7 shots.
Yeah.
Over the course of the whole game. Denver had 9 players that played 13 plus minutes. This was about as much of a rest game as you can get for the Denver Nuggets. They went into this knowing that they would win almost no matter what. They led by 33 points at one point in time. Moving on to this past Wednesday, Clippers versus the Pelicans. Bit of an upset. The Pelicans are bottom of the Western Conference. They are either already eliminated from playoff contention or really close to being eliminated from playoff contention. They beat the Clippers 124-109. Kawhi played this game. He had 25 points. However, for the Pelicans, Saddiq Bey had 25 points as well. Trey Murphy had 23 points. And New Orleans was actually down by 18 points early on in this game, about midway through the first quarter. So they clawed their way back over the course of the game. And DeJounte Murray had 17 points and 11 assists for the Pelicans as well. Denver versus Memphis. Another upset this past Wednesday. Memphis wins 125-118. Memphis, I'm pretty sure, is already eliminated from playoff contention, and Denver's fighting for...
Memphis is still in.
Are they still in?
Orlando's out, though.
Okay. There we go. So, yeah. Orlando's out, and they beat the Clippers. Memphis is fighting to stay in, but pretty close. And Denver's already got a playoff spot, but they're looking for positioning. So, Memphis upsets Denver. Jokic had 29 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists, 10 turnovers, however. He had more turnovers than assists, which is not great. Christian Brown had 26 points. Murray had 19 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds. So, Nuggets nearly had 2 triple-doubles. Well, I guess Jokic had a triple-double with turnovers, but that's not the kind of triple-double you want.
That's not the stat sheet you want to be looking at.
For Memphis, Ty Jerome had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, another near triple-double. And Taylor Hendricks had 6 steals alone, which is more than most teams get in a whole game. So, big props to him. This game was highly contested, although, again, it shouldn't have been. Nuggets should have just steamrolled. There were 21 lead changes and 11 ties.
Sorry, 21?
21 lead changes.
What's the average? I'm pretty sure, I've seen the average be, more than 14, 15.
Yeah, it's sort of like low teens, sort of like just into double figures. But once you're getting up to 20 lead changes, you are looking at quite literally a back-and-forth contest.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon was, however, out for the Nuggets. So, yeah, Memphis upsets Denver, which, with the past few weeks, how Denver's been playing and how they've been sliding in the Western Conference seeding, not a great look.
It's a pretty great look for the Wolves, though.
Oh, yeah, but...
Oh, yeah.
Past Wednesday as well, Lakers versus Houston. Lakers win 124-116. This was a very important Western Conference game again, because those two teams are neck and neck, along with Minnesota and Denver. LeBron had 30 points on only 14 shots. He made 13 out of his 14 shot attempts. So, extremely efficient. Luka Doncic, 40 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. DeAndre Ayton, who's been getting a lot of criticism recently about not wanting to play, not playing well, yada, yada, yada. He had 16 points and 3 blocks. So, he did show up. For the Rockets, Sengun had 27 points, 10 assists. Ben Thompson had 26 points, 11 rebounds. So, high-profile game. Lakers come out with a victory. Past Thursday, Orlando versus Charlotte. Charlotte wins 130-111. So, not quite a blowout, but still pretty handily won. Banchero had 20 points. Desmond Bane had 24 points. Orlando was, however, missing Franz Wagner, which is arguably their second or third best player. So they were playing a little bit short.
A lot of teams are missing their top dogs, eh?
Here at the end of the season, between rest, minor injuries that teams don't want getting worse, and some relatively major injuries, there's a lot of teams that are playing shorthanded right now.
As well as athletes are pushing themselves to try to get their teams into these play-in spots and playoff spots.
The start of the playoffs will be pretty interesting to see which teams are healthy. because I don't think there's a single team in the NBA right now outside of maybe the Thunder that you can say are playoff ready in terms of health. Miller for Charlotte had 25 points and 8 assists. Kobe White had 27 points. Charlotte led this game by 35 points late into the third quarter. So Orlando clawed their way back slightly, still lost by 19. Clippers versus Pelicans. Again, another upset. This is
with the Pelicans?
Yeah, Clippers and Pelicans. They had a back-to-back 2 days in a row against the same team. Pelicans win again, 105-99. Derrick Jones Jr. had 22 points. Again, no Kawhi Leonard. Trey Murphy had 27 points, and Sadiq Bey had 20 points. So, I guess this was just a bit of a hiccup for the Clippers. Here, I mean, they recently fought their way to above 500 and have secured a playoff spot.
Yep.
So, they're not at risk of missing the playoffs necessarily.
But now they're going more for positioning.
Yeah, so losing back-to-back to the Pelicans is tough. Phoenix versus San Antonio. This was a very close game, very fun game. San Antonio Spurs win 101-100. Wembanyama had 34 points and 12 rebounds. He hit a game winner with 1.1 seconds left. It was 100-99 for Phoenix, and Wembanyama hit a game-winning jumper. Devin Booker with 22 points, and Colin Gillespie with 24 points for the Suns. This past Friday, New York versus Brooklyn. So the battle of New York area.
Yeah.
This was not supposed to be a close game. We are talking third place in the East against 14th place in the East. But Brooklyn is also the team who upset Detroit not too long ago. So they have the ability. New York wins 93-92.
That's a defensive game.
It was a low-scoring game. Karl Anthony Towns, best performer of the night with 26 points, 15 rebounds. However,
oh boy,
with about 5 seconds left in the game, score was 93-92. Karl Anthony Towns was at the free-throw line, had the chance to at least give his team a basket's worth of a lead. You know, he hits one free throw, they're up 2. He hits both free throws, team's up 3. He missed both. Gave Brooklyn a chance to get the rebound, called timeout, and with about 3 seconds left, they put up a shot. They missed, but
thank God for him.
Thank God for him. Like, again, he had a really good game. It's just clutch 3 throws. You can't miss them like that. Josh Minott for Brooklyn had 22 points. So, not the scoreline you're expecting from a New York Knicks game in 2026, but Brooklyn nearly pulled off another upset. This past Friday, a game that I was really looking forward to, Toronto versus Denver. Denver wins 121-115. Jakob Poeltl had 23 points, 11 rebounds. Scotty Barnes had 15 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Jokic on the other side, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Jamal Murray with 31 points. Denver won the fourth quarter by 15 points, which means that Toronto went into the locker room at the end of the third quarter with a 10-point lead. And they blew it, which is starting to become a bit of a storyline for the Toronto Raptors, is that their second and fourth quarters are not great. So just another insert into that saga, if you want to put it that way. A few days ago, Saturday, Miami versus Houston. A buzzer-beating winner. Houston wins 123-122. Amen Thompson beats the buzzer with a rebound tip shot layup to win the game off of a Kevin Durant miss.
So what you're telling me is Kevin Durant tried to do this buzzer beater, missed, and he was just lucky that his teammate was there to just tip it in.
Yep. Kevin Durant had the game on the line. He missed, and Amen Thompson bailed him out. Bam Adebayo, the guy who scored 83 points, 32 points, and 21 rebounds. Tyler Herro had 25 points, along with Bam's outburst. Sengun for the Rockets had 19 points, 12 rebounds. Reed Shepherd had 23 points, 14 assists. Durant had 27 points. And the hero of the game, Amen Thompson, had 24 points and 18 rebounds. It was a 4-man effort from the Houston Rockets. And it took them until zeros on the clock.
18 rebounds?
18 rebounds.
Sheesh.
I know he's an athletic guy. I think he's like 6'8" or something. But damn.
Yeah.
He wanted it. He wanted it. And, it paid dividends. He gets the winner in the end. Upset alert. Milwaukee Bucks beat the Phoenix Suns 108-105. Phoenix is currently fighting for a guaranteed playoff spot in the Western Conference.
So they're in that 7 or 8 spot?
They're in that 6, 7, 8 spot. Milwaukee's out of the playoffs. Or they're just at the edge. The Eastern Conference is still wide open. Milwaukee's Ryan Rollins goes for 26 points and 10 rebounds, and Kyle Kuzma goes for 20 points in an upset win. Jalen Green for the Phoenix Suns had 24 points. Both teams, however, like you mentioned earlier, heavily injured. No Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo was out. I don't think Booker was playing this game either. And Phoenix is still missing, Dylan Brooks, Grayson Allen, guys like that. So both teams are very beat up. But Phoenix should not be losing to Milwaukee. Not when they're fighting for a playoff spot like they are. Sunday, Minnesota versus Boston. Minnesota pulls out the victory 102-92. No Anthony Edwards, mind you.
Yep.
Bones Highland with 23 points. Rudy Gobert with 9 points and 14 rebounds. And Ayo Dosunmu, who Minnesota got at the trade deadline. And I wasn't entirely sure how he was going to fit into their scheme and their roster because he played the same position as Ant. But with Ant out, he's filling that spot. He had 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. So a solid performance from what is essentially your backup 2 guard.
You take it at the end of the day.
I mean, if your star's out and the next guy up is giving you numbers like that, you take it. Yeah. Especially in a win against, the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown had 29 points. Jason Tatum had 16 points and 11 rebounds. Key note about this game, Boston struggled from the field. They shot 36% and 27% from 3. So they struggled. Toronto versus Phoenix. This was a game that I was excited for. Toronto had recently beat Phoenix about a week and a half ago. And I thought, Toronto's finally performing against the top teams.
I'm going to guess by your tone it went the other way.
Phoenix wins 120-98.
They put him in a corner.
Devin Booker had 25 points. Jalen Green had 20 points. Nobody in Toronto really played well. I think their highest score had 16 points. What I have written down here is the disappointing end. Brandon Ingram, who's supposed to be Toronto's go-to scorer, and, the guy who you give the ball to when you don't know what else to do, he went for 6 points and minus 29 when he was on the court.
Those are not numbers you want your star to be having.
He had a rough one. He shot 3 for 10 from the field. He had a game to forget.
To say the least.
Yeah. So, I don't want to, as a Toronto fan, I don't want to stick on that game for too long. Moving on. Lakers versus Detroit. This was a game that last week, on our last recording, this was a game that I wrote down as a game I wanted to watch. Because it was the up-and-coming Lakers, Luka and LeBron just playing out of their minds, Austin Reeves, and this Detroit team that's sort of been bouncing around, going back and forth in the last couple weeks, but sort of, Cade Cunningham, this is top of the East. Cade's injured. So when this game was played, Detroit was without Cade Cunningham.
Which is their leading scorer, right?
Their guy. The Lakers came into this game with a 9-game win streak, mind you. So Detroit's their man down.
Facing a scorching hot LA Lakers.
Detroit wins 113-110. To be fair, though, Luka and LeBron showed up. Luka had 32 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. LeBron had 12 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. Dennis Jenkins. I don't think I've ever heard this guy's name before. Puts up 30 points for Detroit in Cunningham's absence.
Just goes apeshit.
Just fire on his fingertips. Like, I don't know what this guy's minutes average was before this game, but I think coach is going to have to look at him and say, okay, even when Cunningham comes back, we'll give you some minutes.
Yeah.
30 points from a guy who's on your bench's bench, pretty good.
Brother got a chance and scored a home run.
Yeah. He saw his chance and he took it. Duran for Detroit, 20 points, 11 rebounds. So Detroit won a game that they shouldn't have, even though they are,
because
number
of
one
a
in the East.
secret weapon they didn't know they had.
Yeah, apparently they just had this guy in their back pocket, and they were just like, hey, Kate, you fake the collapsed lung, just go sit. We'll have this guy play.
It's like the 50 you find randomly in your jacket's pocket.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I didn't know I had this $100 bill.
In all discretion, though, we know that collapsed lungs are serious.
Yeah, no, Cade Cunningham does actually have a collapsed lung, and it is a serious injury. I'm not trying to make small of it. But Detroit won a game they weren't supposed to, so props to them. And the last score I want to go over from this past week is upset number 4 of this past week. Second last score, but Indiana beats Orlando 128-126. The Pacers are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, along with the Washington Wizards.
Do you want to know how much for me this is an upset? I know Orlando was the Wizards. I didn't know what...
Or the Magic.
The Magic.
Yeah.
Proves how much I know basketball. I didn't even know Indiana had a basketball team.
The Indiana Pacers were in the NBA Finals last year. The reason they're so bad this year is because their star player, Tyrese Halliburton, ruptured his Achilles in the NBA Finals and is still recovering. So they have been without their number one guy all year.
Do they still have Siakam, I think?
They still have Siakam. They still have some young guys and whatnot that they're developing, but Halliburton ran that team.
Yeah.
That team is obviously does not function without him.
Well, not only that, you can only put so much on Siakam, too.
Exactly. Siakam's a great player. He's used to play for the Raptors. I love the guy. He's a great player, but outside of him and Halliburton, that team is not that great. Indiana was not supposed to win this. Siakam had 37 points. Andrew Nembhard had 13 points, 14 assists in this 2-point upset. I don't know what's happening in Orlando. They've been up and down all over the place for the last few years. And
some bad magic.
Yeah, right. Bad juju. They're supposed to be a good team. They've had young players developing for years, but they just haven't figured it out. Paolo Banchero, however, sort of what is supposed to be their main man, did have 39 points in the losing effort.
Okay, so he, in a sense of a word, he played his part.
He played his part. You just shouldn't be letting the Indiana Pacers of 2026 be scoring 128 points on you.
Yeah.
But again, props to Siakam for 37. So, all right, and now the actual final score I want to go over: San Antonio Spurs against the Miami Heat. I was expecting this one to be competitive.
A little closer, I'm guessing.
A little bit closer than San Antonio winning 136-111. Mind you, the Spurs won by 25. They were up by 30 at some point in time. Wembanyama had 26 points, 15 rebounds. The only silver-ish lining for Miami in this game was Norman Powell, who's been on and off with injury. Had 21 points off the bench. So maybe that's a sign of things to come. Miami should be a playoff team. I don't think they haven't guaranteed their spot, but if Norman Powell is coming back healthy enough and is scoring enough, along with Adebayo and Tyler Hero, Miami should be a competent and decently good playoff team. So we'll have to see. But they got blown out. That is all I have in terms of NBA scores for this past week. So I will hand the mic off to Miggy to give you guys a rundown on some of the other sports leagues from this past week.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with hockey because we have had a little bit of a wild week for hockey. So on last Tuesday, Oilers faced San Jose. Now, San Jose is attempting to find a playoff spot in the whole weaker Western Conference, as well as Edmonton is trying to get second or potentially even first in a weaker Pacific Division. That game finished 5-3 for Edmonton.
I just want to comment, you're a lot nicer towards the Pacific Division in your wording than I think they deserve.
Yeah.
Fucking dog shit.
It's like an image I saw the other day. You've got the Atlantic, the Metro, and fill me in on what the Pacific and what's the...
And the Central.
And the Central. You've got the Atlantic, the Metro, and the Central. The three older brothers sitting around the video game console, playing NHL 26. Then here comes the Pacific Division, the younger brother, asking if he can play.
Around.
Well, no, he asks if he can play. They give him a controller.
It's just not.
Not plugged in. The Pacific's just they're not really competing. They're not there.
So yeah.
And the game they're playing is Mario Party.
Yeah. The one key fact I do want to stand out. Dmitry Orlov, which is a defenseman for San Jose, has been getting more points recently. He's been in a little bit of a drought, but the last couple of games he's been getting points. He's a rough defense. He's not rough, but he's a more physical defenseman.
Rough around the edges.
Yeah, but he is also a big point getter. So San Jose having him kind of being cold was, I don't want to say more strainful for the other defensemen, because you always want your defenseman to help out with the play, but having a offensive defenseman on a cold streak,
Well, I mean, when you're expecting to get points from anybody and you're not.
So again, Oilers 5-3, pretty easy. Now this one, I did manage to watch it before I fell asleep midway through the second. So I only watched half the game.
I was about to say, does it really count as watching the game if you missed half of it?
I did watch the fucking highlights afterwards, so we're good. Okay. Dallas versus Colorado. Big teams. Dallas is itching its way back to Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they're 4 points or 5 points. Yeah, with Colorado winning yesterday or today, they're now 7 points. But that's pretty close. Dallas goes on another streak and Colorado goes on another losing streak, and so those two are kind of fighting to stay out of Minnesota. Yeah, because you want the easier matchup, right? Which would be whoever is in the wild card 2 spot. Game went into shootout. Dallas won 2-1. Actually, it's not shootout. Sorry, just overtime. No, it's shootout. Holy. It is shootout.
You were right, then you're...
Yeah.
It's like on a test when you just recorrect yourself 3 times.
Yeah, it was shootout. Cale Makar with a goal. Not surprised on the power play, which is surprisingly one of the worst in the NHL. They are one of the best 5-on-5 teams. But the minute you take the other guy's player away, they're one of the worst. They have a dozen shorthanded goals against them this year.
I'm telling you, teams that face the Avalanche should just play 4-on-5 the whole game.
Yeah. So
that seems to work.
Robo, another goal for him. He's at 37. And then the shootout winner was Wyatt Johnston. No surprise there. I personally find that he's slightly underrated when it comes to how good he is in the shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one kind of hurt. I do have to talk about it because I did call it out, but it's going to hurt a little bit.
I mean, it's like you said, it's an Atlantic Division game.
Exactly, and it was a big one. Montreal versus Detroit. The Eastern Conference as a whole is tight. Every win, every point counts. Montreal did lose 3-1. Now, both teams, like I said, needed a point. Habs played well, but DeBrincat did capitalize on a mistake that Matheson did, which kind of switched the momentum.
Yeah.
Matheson had trouble controlling the puck and kind of gave it away to DeBrincat, which caught Bishop off guard. And they managed to get it one a little later in the third period to make it 2-1, and then got the empty netter to make it 3-2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I watched that play unfold.
Yeah, it was a little. It's concerning because it's not the first time Matheson has made those plays, but then he'll go on a 3 to 4 game stretch where he kind of makes up for it. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, it wasn't too hard on Matheson because some of these guys take these mistakes hard.
Yeah.
Now, another top team that we had to make sure for the we were just talking about it, Central. Wild versus Stars. So Stars won against Avalanche. And now the Wild won against the Stars 2-1 in overtime. So just saying how good these teams are. They're playing each other till overtime and shootout. Wild won 2-1 in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Robinson again with another goal for Dallas. Bobby Brink tightening up halfway through the game. And then a beauty of a goal from Vladimir Tarasenko in overtime to give the Wild the win. Now again, it's a top 3 team in the Central. They're kind of just playing for placement, although Wild is quite a bit ways out from Dallas. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of waiting on who am I facing between Dallas and Avalanche. And right now it's kind of looking like Dallas because Avalanche is just separating and separating and separating.
Yeah.
Now this one is a major one as much as it is on the lower side. LA versus Utah. They are both, well, not fighting, but LA is currently fighting for a playoff spot.
Mm.
And then Utah is trying to keep their wild card 1 spot. Because if they're in the wild card 1, they go against whoever's top dog in the Pacific. Which is a lot easier than being number 2 in the wild card race and facing Avalanche. So every win for them or every point for them is a point away from Avalanche. So Utah did win in overtime 4-3. So they both get points. LA gets a little closer. They are fighting against a red-hot Nashville team, though.
Mm-hmm.
So LA will have to either fire it up or hope that Nashville takes a little bit of a staggered path of lose, win, lose, 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 win, beatbox kind of deal. But yeah, and then this week, Colorado and Dallas did clinch a playoff spot, so they are in the playoffs no matter what. And Vancouver got eliminated, which...
It means I don't have to care about any more games.
If they won the 20 of their next 15 games, they might have gone 32nd. So, with that said, we're going to go to the PWHL to talk about the one game that I wanted to mention. Vancouver versus New York. Now, the New York Sirens have lost 4 of their last 5.
Ooh.
And that's including this one. Vancouver won 5-2. Sirens needed this win to stay remotely in playoff contention. And I think they needed also this win to generate momentum for the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Sirens right now went from 4th to 5th to 6th.
They just keep dropping.
Toronto Scepters went from 6th to 5th to 4th. And the Chargers stayed 5th, or stayed 5th.
Oh, so just 4th and 6th swapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now talking about the Scepters and the Charge, they are 1 point apart. They have 9 games left, or 10 games left.
Mm-hmm.
They play each other 3 times until the end of the season.
So they're neck and neck, and they just so happen to have
a third of
their remaining
left
schedule against
each other.
Funny how that works.
One on April 1st, one on April 11th, and one on April 24th. So they will
all
be
like, oh well, the first 2 are about a week and a half apart.
Yeah,
and
they
then the
will
next one
be
is...
some action in Ontario, which is good because they're not getting any in the NHL.
I mean, it's action. It's just not good action.
But both of them also have a mildly challenging end of season schedule as well, because they are facing their 3 other games are against the other top 3.
Right.
And then they have one against Vancouver, which you just saw Vancouver upset New York, and then some of the bottom feeders. So it's going to be an interesting end of the year for the PWHL.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to talk about an upset.
Yeah.
The Charge beat the Victoires 2-1 in overtime.
Okay. And I mean, anytime you mention a team like the Victoire losing, just at all.
Yeah. So
They've
that
been
is good for the Charge, because that's an extra 2 points that they need to potentially get that 4th spot. And like we talked earlier, the 3 games coming up with the Scepters are going to help, and they also play a game against the Sirens, which they're going to have to win to keep them below them.
Right. I mean, it's good for the PWHL, right? Like,
Oh, for sure.
if your end of season is this tight for all of your teams,
100%.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, you were happy today, NFL-wise.
Oh, yeah.
You got your wide receiver 1 signed.
Yep.
Locked in.
JSN is locked in for, I think it's 4 years.
4 years, 168.8 mil. He is making 42.2 mils a season on average for the next 4 years. Now, before we talk just a little bit more about this one, because it does lead into another person's contract.
Yeah, I know where you're going with it.
Travis Kelce is getting paid $54.735 million for 3 years. I looked at his stats for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago, 4 years ago, and 3 years ago, I would have told you exactly what he's owed.
Yeah.
I looked at his stats the last 2 years. They overpaid him. In my personal opinion, the next 3 years, Travis Kelce is getting overpaid. So
he's been on the decline. You expect that he's going to continue.
Either he's going to continue, or a switch is going to flick in his head where he has to go back to being old Kelce. But he is also getting on the older side.
Yeah, that's also true.
For football. So we'll have to see. Power rankings also came out. Seattle's still first. Rams are second. Broncos are third. Bills are fourth. 49ers are fifth. You got 3 of the top 5 in the same division.
Is it Bills in 4th or is it 49ers in 4th?
When I looked it up, it was Bills. It could have switched.
Okay.
But whether or not it's Bill 4th, 49ers 5th, or vice versa,
regardless.
you got 3 teams in the same division in the top 5.
I think that makes both of us kind of happy, but also kind of stressed.
Yeah.
Because it means that it's going to be another year of the Rams and Seahawks likely playing very well, but not being guaranteed anything.
Yeah. So the season doesn't start till September 10th. Still a lot of times for teams to make moves. Schedule will be released mid-May, and I'm pretty sure you are going to sit down, look at the schedule, kind of make our own little predictions, all that pizzazz like we like to do at times.
I mean, ideally, I'd like us to sit down and give a prediction for the whole season. I think we can do that.
I can. And we can even post it down just to make sure we don't change it throughout the year. Just be like, oh yeah, I totally said that.
Give me my $5.
I totally said that. Run the clip. Now, the GSN contract, what does that mean for Puka Nacua?
That means bad news for the Rams.
He's going to be asking for slightly more.
Oh, yeah.
Now, me and you agree to disagree on this, but we both agree that you take those two out, and the offense on both teams declines. I don't want to say a slight bit, because it's more than a slight bit.
It's not significant in terms of their offenses disappear.
Yeah, they don't go from hero to zero, but they'll go from like
you'd be removing giant puzzle pieces.
Yes. So, and we both agree GSN is a big piece for them, and Puka Nacua is a big piece for the Rams. Mm-hmm. Now, whether or not we agree who's better than the other, I don't think we'll ever agree because we're biased and competitive. So, we'll just put on the table that they are in the same group.
For all intents and purposes, they are equal.
I can deal with that for now until he gets paid more.
I mean, here's the issue with that statement, Miggy, is that him getting paid more hurts you and the Rams.
Well, we'll see. So the NFL will be interesting with that division being stacked.
Again.
Yeah. Now, like I said...
Poor Cardinals.
Oh. And they just got rid of Kyler, so they're going to have to find something. Like I said, there's still a lot of time, so we'll get to that eventually. Now, MLB starting this week on the 25th, which, by the way, boys, we all have our little fantasy. Check tomorrow to make sure your guys are set. Yeah. You don't have to. I wouldn't be upset if you didn't, Jay. Like, we're all good.
For all those at home, Jay stumbled himself into what could possibly be the best fantasy team of our little league that we're doing. I don't know how we let him do it.
By being stupid.
Hey, look, man. I picked what I thought I needed.
Yeah, me too. And then I looked at his roster and went, how?
I'm going to blame the, 7 other randoms.
Yeah. Anyways.
In my defense, all I did was pick the top person available for the role that I needed.
Well, that's the thing. That's my issue. Is that for whatever God-given reason, the best player just so happened to correlate with the position you needed every damn time.
Anyways, back on track. We are recording this episode on Tuesday, March 24th. The season starts on Wednesday, March 25th. It is San Francisco versus the New York Yankees. I will not be watching that game. I don't watch a Yankee game unless it's against the Blue Jays.
And I mean, even then, I'm usually covering the screen when a Yankees player is on.
So, here are the games for the Blue Jays until Tuesday, 31st on the next podcast recording. The Blue Jays' first game is on Friday, March 27th, which I am guessing me and you are going to try to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
This is actually a sport that Jay could watch and actually understand it slightly.
I understand baseball pretty well.
I mean, It's pretty easy to understand bat to ball. It's pretty close.
He might be trying to find the ball.
I mean, I don't know. Baseball's kind of close to cricket, right?
Yeah. Okay, so they'll be playing against Oakland A's.
Yep.
Actually, are they Las Vegas A's?
The A's.
Let's just go with the A's until
Yeah.
we're certain. They will also be raising the banner as champion of their conference from last year.
Yep.
Gosman starting. I love this. I thought for a point they were going to make a statement and make Cease start the first game. And I was kind of hoping not to, because that would make a lot of pressure on a guy who's starting on a new team.
Yeah.
Having your veteran Gosman do it takes a whole lot of pressure up. Saturday the 28th, now Cease is starting. And then Sunday the 29th, Lauer is starting against the A's. Monday the 30th versus the Rockies is Ponce that's starting. And Tuesday the 31st, I just saw in my notes that I wrote the 31st and not the 31st. I must have had a lisp or something. Versus the Rocky, Mad Max is starting. Now me and you, because I know you have a couple of words for our bullpen, we'll have a conversation about the bullpen and the projected lineup for this scenario, as well as what the expectations are with the key additions and where we rank in the power rankings later in our discussion. We kind of went a little overboard with the NFL. I should have kept that a little.
That's fine.
But we got back on track. Is what it is. Now, with that on the way, though, what do you think, Chris? You think it's break time?
I think we said it to break. I need a Kit Kat.
All right.
Not sponsored.
Did you know Formula One drivers lose an average of 6.5 pounds in freedom units and 3 kilograms in the rest of the world units of body weight during a single race due to extreme heat and high G forces?
All right, and welcome back from our little fun fact breaky break. As we kind of almost started getting into before we sent you guys to the break, the Blue Jays pitching rotation to start the year, and just their starting lineup. I think you got I think you got some names there, Miggy.
I do. So their projected season opener lineup is Springer at the DH. Left field is Lucas. Do I have to say his name at first base? Like
You might
Guerrero
as well.
Jr.?
There we go.
Right field is Barger.
Yep.
Our catcher, Captain Kirk. Center field, Varsho. Love that guy. Third baseman is the new
It's the new hire.
hire, Okamoto. He is already in the talks to win the Rookie of the Year in the AL.
Yeah.
He's topped already with
I'm not too surprised.
second baseman Clement and shortstop Jimenez. I like this. There's depth. There's power. What do you think?
It is 90%. Well, not 90%, but close to. It is grand majority the same fielding roster that the Jays had last season, especially to end the year.
Yeah.
The only changes are
Don't do this. to me, man.
Okamoto
Don't do this to me, man.
and he who shall not be named, Bobichette. But I like this. I really, really do.
You imagine this with Bobichette?
Look, I love Bobichette. He swings the bat great. Defense, he slid on a lot.
He did get injured a lot.
He did.
So
He started becoming injury prone. His defense was declining quite rapidly. He was moving too close to just being a DH.
Yeah.
When we already had Springer.
Now, talking about new additions with Okamoto, we also got Jesus Sanchez,
Yep.
which is a power hitter. Not much on the contact, but once he hits it, it goes far. I kind of see him in the same. Maybe him and Varsho are gonna switch roles a little bit, or even Lucas or Barger, just shift them and see where he goes. Dylan Cease is the major addition this year to our bullpen.
Oh yeah, that's
and
is
right
the
now, The 5 names that I named earlier, Gosman, Cease, Lauer, Ponce, Mad Max, that is without Bieber and Yasavage.
Who are currently on the injury list.
Yes.
The starting rotation for the Jays, for their starting pitcher rotation, is immaculate. It's great.
Insane.
And
that's
then you
without
go,
Berrios too.
Yeah, and then you go to the bullpen. You have Jeff Hoffman, Tyler Rogers, Louis Varland, Brendan Little, Braden Fisher, Mason Fluharty.
I do not see a reason to why we should be blowing leads this year.
The Jays pitching staff is top quality, front to back, top to bottom.
We are right now, power ranking, we are 4th.
As a biased Jays fan, I would like us to be higher, obviously. I think we are deserving of 2nd or 3rd. I do get 4th, though, because of our hitting.
Which we'll see this year, because Barger had a awesome spring league.
Mm-hmm.
Okamoto seemed to have been a little bit on the slower end, but after 4 or 5 games, he picked it up.
Yeah.
Guerrero had an awesome WBC.
Insane WBC.
If Springer can stay healthy, his leadoffs are awesome. Sometimes he gives us the lead right away.
Yeah.
Other times he gets us in playing position to get that.
As any leadoff should be doing.
Exactly. Kirk's going to keep being Kirk.
Hey, Captain Kirk. He doesn't get doubles, but he hits homers.
Exactly.
And he's always a double play threat on the wrong end.
We are
I love the guy. I really do. But the only doubles he gets are being the butt end of a double play. I love the guy.
With that being said,
I
Jays are expected to win 90 games this season.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if they don't.
And with that, we're also expected to make a deep playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, and I think we're all on board with this, boys, we want that championship.
We should have had it last year. There were avoidable mistakes.
Yes.
In the heat of the moment, we as athletes understand that it's you making those split-second decisions is tough. But
the one thing I will say, in that championship final, the umpiring was actually quite good.
Oh, yes. Yes.
There's been years where people complain. A lot of people that I talked about after the game, the umpiring was on the better end.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that works. The ABS system, challenge system, is helping, maybe making sure not making sure, but it's helping the umpires being like, okay, I can't just be like, oh, I'm not sure.
Can't just be a bullshit call.
Yeah. They can't just be like, I guess. They have to stay focused all the time. Now, we're humans. We make errors. I don't think the ABS system is to challenge the umpires as a whole.
No, it's to make them better.
I totally agree. But there's going to be those people that are going to say that it challenges the authority of the umpire, which I don't think so. Every sport has a challenge system. I just feel that the baseball has actually put a pretty good one in place with this. And it's not like you can have one at every at-bat.
Now, I'm not to defend the umpires a little bit here. Comparing it to cricket, in cricket, umpires can do a review of their own. They can call the third umpire.
Yeah.
Essentially saying, hey, I'm not sure about this call. Can you check with the technology that we have available if it's out or not?
So basically like a pre-challenge.
A pre-challenge.
Okay.
Umpire can challenge his own call,
Yeah.
essentially.
See, my issue...
That gives the authority back to the umpire to check his own call.
The only issue I think I would have with that, and if it doesn't affect it, then there's no issue, is we just don't want to add even more time, right? So they added the pitch clock to stop games being 5 hours, right? Now, I think it's going to be like the ABS if we put that system in where it's like 15 minutes, done.
Yeah.
15 seconds,
15
sorry.
seconds,
Yeah,
15
15
minutes.
seconds. The moment he says, "Hey, I'm not sure about this call," it's essentially the same as
Well,
the challenge.
well, right. Like all you'd have to change for the ABS to be something similar to that is let the umpire tap his own head when he's not sure about a call.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even the umpire at second base just be like,
Right. Just like bongos on his head.
yeah.
But the thing about MLB ABS and baseball umpires is that this is the sport where your form of referee, for whatever reason, has taken on the most pride over the last, few decades or whatnot. Your refs in other sports, generally speaking,
Are more humble.
are more humble. They're not the ones on the news. The players are. MLB has suffered from the issue of half the time it's umpire conspiracies. Or here's the end of the game. We're not going to tell you who had 3 home runs. We're going to tell you that this umpire had a 60% success rate on calls.
Right? Like,
Right? That should
whereas
not
the-
be sports.
whereas the other sports, and this is only in the American sports that I'm noticing this, by the way, because NBA referees are also assholes.
Yes. Like, I think for the MLB and for baseball, like, an umpire's calls have more direct and immediate influence and consequences on
Yeah.
what's happening because it's, right, like, in the NBA, generally speaking, like, the majority of calls is just who touched it last to go out of bounds and, oh, you obviously slapped him, right? But for 60 or 80% of screen time, the guys are playing.
Yeah.
Right, without referee
Needing to intervene.
With baseball, however, it is every single throw the umpire is making a call. So, like, I get that umpires are more intimate with the game itself, and thus probably feel like they are almost closer to active participants than other forms of officiating, but I feel like this ABS is good for umpires too because it takes the burden of authority off of them slightly. It gives them room to just call the game instead of some of them stressing out, being like, if I miss a call, I'm getting death threats.
Yeah.
Now, talking about, because he made a comparison of the NBA refs also at times being a little bit on the
Prideful.
prideful side.
They can get their little butts hurt sometimes if one of the players goes, "Oh, that was a poopy call, ref," and then you get a tech and you get thrown out.
Yeah, the amount of compilations I've seen on YouTube where referees have thrown players out for
Looking at
him
them,
wrong.
yeah.
You also mentioned how earlier the NBA has a lot of injuries.
Yes.
Why is there so many injuries in the NBA right now? Like, it feels like every time we talk about a game, someone or many people are injured in that team.
I feel like the game has gotten more physical.
It is a combination of probably about 12 different things. One is that the game is fast. And from a common consumer standpoint, you might look at basketball, you might look at NBA and kind of see, it's like, oh, but they're jogging up the court. Generally speaking, though, these guys play a lot faster than they used to. They jump a lot higher than they used to. And the physicality is different, I would say. Because sort of back in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot more just sort of like throwing bodies into each other and whatnot. Nowadays, it's a lot less noticeable. It's undercutting a guy. It's the slight push as he jumps and he loses his balance kind of thing. So it's different in terms of physicality, but it is still there. But the big thing is that these guys run. So leg injuries especially have been on the rise. Knees, Achilles, ACL, MCLs, ankles, everything like that is just up here. And another thing is that drug testing and player health is at such a high level in terms of monitoring nowadays. If you get caught for anything that might not even necessarily enhance your performance, but just make you more durable, you're screwed. You lose your contract. So guys are at a different risk usually, but it's the speed of play and the type of play that the NBA is kind of producing nowadays. It's just so fast paced, and the human body just isn't quite up to the challenge. Now, some of the big injuries from this past week is Anthony Edwards. He's got some pretty severe knee inflammation in his left knee. He's out for quite likely the rest of the regular season. Potentially even into the playoffs.
Oh.
Right? So that's a big guy who's out because of a leg injury. Cade Cunningham, as we kind of mentioned earlier, he suffered a collapsed lung. Now, it's not life-threatening or anything, but he is out for the rest of the regular season, potentially into the playoffs. A scary, scary injury that happened just the other night. Moses Moody suffered a torn patellar tendon in his left knee. If you watch the video of the injury, it's not hard to watch until they show what happened to his knee. Right? There have been videos of basketball players getting hurt where they go for a layup or something, and then when they land, their foot gets stuck under the stand of the basketball hoop, and then their knee bends in the wrong direction. Right? Moses Moody suffered an injury that isn't that type of gruesome. His knee, for all intents and purposes, imploded. He stole the basketball. He had a free layup. All he did was jump to go score the basket, and his patellar tendon just snapped. And if you look at the pictures of what his knee looked like afterwards, it is not pleasant. So the NBA and basketball generally right now is just suffering a major increase in leg and lower body injuries. Just because of how much strain is put on the legs with all the running and all the jumping. 20, 30 years ago, the guys were just as athletic, but the game was slower. The game was more meticulous, if you want to put it that way. It was jog here, pass the ball. Jog here, pass the ball. Nowadays, it is fast break. It is get as many shots up as you can. It is jump as high as you can all the time. So, I hope that the NBA can figure something out. I'm not sure if it's just a defect of basketball, but something isn't right.
Now, talking about injuries, if you don't mind. Hockey got a couple. Now, me and you did talk about this. He is okay, though. Mm-hmm. Stolar's got a puck to the neck by William Nylander during warm-ups.
Yeah.
He was rushed off the ice. They checked him out. Everything's good. He played against Boston today, and they won. So, which is surprisingly good for me, because means that Boston's not up Montreal's butt in the standings. Malkin is now considered day-to-day, right after they got Crosby back. Morgan Riley is dealing with a lower body injury. And then Sens just lost Shabbat. He got a cross-check to his right arm and is said to miss a chunk of time. Mm-hmm. So there are many more injuries. These are just the ones I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
I feel like there is in the NHL right now. There is a little bit more leniency, as I've been seeing on cross checks.
Yeah.
And hit from behinds and all that stuff. Like there's games me and you watch and we're like, that's rough.
Borderline.
That's borderline. That's dirty. And this one he got called. He got suspended. He didn't get suspended long enough because I showed you that video. AJ Greer suspended 3 games for boarding. Connor Zary has been labeled day to day after this. Now, I don't know if you remember the video I sent you. Zary was going for the puck. He's about, I want to say, between 8 and 10 feet from the corner of the ice rink.
Yeah.
And Gary hits him, AJ Greer hits him like lower back, downwards.
Mm-hmm.
Zary falls down, slides head first into the board. Now, when that happens at that rate, I rather you bash me into the boards, like right when I'm right into the boards, than that, because you're going 20 clicks
easily
into the boards, head first. Like he folded into himself like an accordion.
Mm-hmm.
For the non-Canadians, he means 20 kilometers an hour.
Yes.
The issue that I'm seeing, especially with the sort of the cross-checking and throwing behind, is the consistency of the downward motion.
Yeah.
Right?
And 3 games. Now, Ratko Gudas, and nothing against Matthews, as I say. I hope he recovers well because I never wish ill. Had a knee-on-knee, and Ratko Gudas got 5-game suspension. Now, let's be honest here.
A knee-on-knee is about as close to incidental.
That one wasn't.
I know that one wasn't.
I know. I
Generally
know what you
speaking,
mean.
though, right?
But let's be honest. That commotion was a lot less dangerous
exactly
than the commotion that happened with Zary. And Greer is only 3 games suspended. I feel like the NHLPA should maybe sit down and reformat their suspensions.
Well, the thing is that I'm not sure if it's an unwritten rule or if it's written into how they pass out suspensions, but it seems to be partially based on the severity of the injury or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? The consequences of the hit are added with the actual
Which
action.
I understand, but I also feel like they should also consider the potential injury.
Oh no, I agree. I 100% agree. I just want to point out that because Matthews suffered a potentially career-ending injury,
career-altering. But yes.
Point being, right, that brings up a lot more of like, oh, the action might not have been as dirty as it could have been, but look what happened.
Yeah.
Right? But in Green's case?
AJ Greer.
In Greer's case, the action he took was way more malicious.
Oh, there was no need for it.
Yeah, but because the consequences of the recipient weren't as high, he dodged a bullet in terms of how long he should have been suspended.
Connor Zary, and he's a good player, but he's not a superstar.
No, he's not as high profile. Right?
Matthews, he was captain of the U.S. team. He's the captain of the Maple Leafs. Like, he is known.
Yeah. And that kind of plays into the fact that sports like this is a business, right? That you have to protect your assets. Now, I get that, but I think both you and I can agree that these are people.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody commits an offense, they should be punished based on that.
I like how you kind of went right into my next point there. Benek Seneke got fined $2,000 for embellishment against Montreal.
That's it?
He flopped, basically, to try to get a power play I don't remember which Montreal player, but he tried to go around Seneki and barely tapped him right on the shoulder, and Seneki went tumbling down, trying to be like, "Oh, interference," and slid halfway down the ice.
Call the football.
Yeah.
I was about to say, send him to soccer or send him to the NBA.
Yeah.
Just give him some flopping lessons.
Now, on better notes, Ovi scored his 1,000th combined goal. So when I say combined goal, I mean playoffs and regular season. He is 16 away from tying Gretzky and 17 to overtake. I don't see him retiring until he does it.
Oh, goodness, no.
Now, on another note, talking about 1,000, Zibanejad played his 1,000th game in the NHL. Not the result he was thinking, though, as his Rangers lost 2-1 against Ottawa, which is not new for the Rangers.
No.
But the fact that they only had 9 shots in the game...
What was the Senators' shots?
33.
33? It's a good thing I got my reading glasses on. Otherwise, I think it was the Senators against the Canucks.
Yeah. So, but on an even better note, Montreal had a monster game against Islanders.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring it up when I was talking about scores. But I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. Cole Caulfield is in the hunt right now behind McKinnon. And with today, he is 2 goals behind McKinnon for the lead goal scorer.
Ooh.
He just reached 40 a couple days ago. And I made a joke to my brother that, he hit 40, he's going to hit a hat trick. Well, after this game, my brother called me and said, "You should have bet on it." Cole Caulfield had a monster game of 5 points, 3 goals and 2 assists. Suzuki had 4 assists. Slavkovsky had 2 goals, 2 assists. Caden Gooley had 1 goal and 2 assists. It just kept going. You know what's funny? To start the third period,
Weren't they losing 3-2?
it was 3... No. They were winning 3-2. Schaefer scored on their power play that Islanders were finishing off with 45 seconds in 45 seconds in the third. And then Montreal said, "Hold my beer," and scored
Hold my poutine.
They scored 4. They scored 5, but the last one got disallowed from an offside.
Yeah. Wasn't there a second disallowed goal too? I thought there were 2.
I think the Islanders got a disallowed goal in the second.
Oh, okay.
But nonetheless, in 10 minutes, Montreal scored 3 goals and then finished off the game with another 2, one being disallowed. But you could see the frustration in Patrick Raw's face. That Islander team was running.
They're running so many suicides.
The next practice, no sticks, no pucks, no skates. Hit the stads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Up, down, non-stop. Your legs are burning? Keep on going.
Can you imagine doing a bear crawl across the ice?
So, monster game for the first line of Montreal and Gooley.
Yep.
They're doing great. It helped them maintain their third spot. And every other win from now is going to solidify that third spot. Because, as we said earlier, Eastern is crazy. PWH up. Here is kind of how I wanted to approach it this week. I have been unsure about how the playoff format works. So I took it upon myself to educate you.
Right, because you didn't need to educate yourself first.
Oh, no, I had to educate you. So this is how the playoff works. Top 4 teams. So I was right about that one. First seeded team gets to pick their opponent between the 3rd and 4th seed.
Oh, okay, it works like that. Yeah.
And then the second team kind of just waits and twiddles their thumb to see who they're getting.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
Best of 5 series. Higher seed hosts games 1, 2, and 5.
Yeah.
So after that, pretty normal. Now here's how the draft works.
Oh, do we get to talk about the bringing like draft points and stuff?
Yes.
Yes, I love this.
Once a team is officially eliminated points-wise from the playoffs, they go into this new set of competition, which is whichever eliminated team at the end of the season has more points receives the number 1 draft pick. I like this.
And these points aren't their combined regular season point. These are their like
Once eliminated points.
these are their elimination points,
which gives teams a little bit of oomph to finish the season out.
It gives them a reason to actually win.
I kind of like this. I hate teams that tank and then just start
I
playing
think everybody
like crap.
does.
Yeah, everybody does till their team tanks to get the top guy.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, listen here.
The one thing that is kind of heartbreaking in the PWHL, Captain Clutch, Poulain, has been moved to long-term injury reserve.
So we won't be seeing her until next year.
We might see her at the end of the playoffs, but I do not think she is playing for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating because Montreal plays a lot better with her. She's kind of the glue girl. So hope her all the best to recover. But as of right now, that's kind of what is what.
Yeah. Gonna drag us back to the NBA really quick here. I wanted to go over just some of the current standings,
Yeah.
just with how close we are to the end of the season. So we were kind of mentioning it earlier. The West pretty much set in terms of playoffs.
Yeah.
He's basically just fighting for seeding right now. OKC and San Antonio, they've already won their divisions even. They're up there. Then 3rd through 9th in the West, all guaranteed playoff spots. So about the only...
Who's 10th? Golden State?
10th is Golden State. Currently in 11th is the New Orleans Pelicans. But they are eliminated. The Grizzlies are currently in 12th, but they have 2 fewer games played than the Pelicans.
Okay.
So mathematically, if Memphis wins the rest of their games and Golden State loses the rest of their games, mathematically they could sneak in.
Okay.
But generally speaking, the West is kind of set.
And the East is just...
The East is open. Detroit has a guaranteed spot. It has Detroit is guaranteed top 6. So they don't even have to worry about the play-in.
Okay.
They could lose the rest of the games. Boston, New York, Cleveland are guaranteed a playoff spot, but could still drop to the play-in.
Okay.
5th through 12th in the East, completely open. The bottom 3 seeds in the East, Brooklyn, Washington, and Indiana, they're eliminated. But teams like Toronto, Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago even is still in. So technically your hot take is still valid mathematically. But the East is still wide open in terms of playoff spots and playing spots.
Now, while we got you on basketball,
Yeah.
do you want to do your games to watch?
I'll get there in a moment. I do want to say Oklahoma City, 12-game winning streak right now. So they're back and healthy. They're on fire. And on the other end, Washington Wizards, 16-game losing streak.
Yeah, I think the season's done.
So I think the season's done for them. For the NBA, games that I want to watch this week. So for you viewers at home, these first few games, our episode will come a little bit too late for me to let you know about them. But games that I'm going to be mentioning next week will be Denver versus Phoenix tonight, Minnesota versus Houston tomorrow night, and OKC versus Boston tomorrow night. Thursday, when this episode comes out, there aren't really any games that I would watch. Friday, however, Miami versus Cleveland, Atlanta versus Boston. Eastern Conference teams fighting for guarantees. Saturday, Detroit versus Minnesota.
I won't even be able to watch that. I got my soccer tournament.
That'll be a fun game to watch. If Ant is miraculously back early, I don't think he will be though. Sunday, Orlando versus Toronto. Middle of the East. They are currently 2.5 games separated from each other.
Okay.
So, very important game for those two teams. New York versus OKC is just a fun top of the East, first place in the West game. Monday, Philadelphia versus Miami. Two Eastern Conference teams solidly in the play-ins right now. Those teams will be, again, fighting for guarantees, fighting for positioning. And the last game for this week that I would urge everybody to watch. Detroit versus OKC.
Top of the top.
Top of the top.
Alpha versus Omega.
Cunningham will be out, but it is still Detroit. They're a great team. Before I send it off to either of you again, March Madness is currently going on.
March Madness!
Now, for any of you out there who may follow our Instagram page, or if this is the first time you're finding out about it, I'll let you know that before March Madness started, once all the teams were set and selected, I did make my brackets, my predictions, and I did post them. Now, they're not going too well. I think I'm about 45% correct.
Hey, it's better than me. I'm at 0.
I ain't got a bracket.
That's exactly why I'm at 0.
Both the men's and women's sides are on to the Sweet 16. On the men's side, we have 1st seed Duke against 5th seed St. John's. 3rd seed Michigan State against 2 seed UConn. 1st seed Arizona against 4th seed Arkansas. And then the surprise of the tournament, 11th seed Texas is still in the tournament. They go against the 2 seed Purdue. We have the 9 seed Iowa going against the 4th seed Nebraska. 3rd seed Illinois against the 2 seed Houston. Another one of the 1 seeds, Michigan, will go against Alabama, a 4 seed. And Tennessee, the 6 seed, will be going against Iowa State. Some of the bigger upsets on the men's side. In the first round, High Point, a 12th seed, beat the 5th seed Wisconsin. I think that was the game where we had our favorite March Madness cliche, 3-point shooting white boy. That only shot threes.
Yeah.
And had 1 layup in the game. 11 seed Texas beat a 3 seed Gonzaga in the second round to keep themselves in. Again, Texas is the Cinderella of the men's side of March Madness so far.
We'll have to keep track of those guys.
Yeah. The Longhorns are making some noise. And Purdue is a good team, but if Texas keeps this rolling, who knows? And 9th seed Iowa overthrew the number 1 seed Florida in the round of 32 to keep going.
Damn.
Now on the women's side, also on to the Sweet 16. The matchups are as follows. Number 1 seed UConn versus number 4 seed North Carolina. Number 6 seed Notre Dame versus number 2 seed Vanderbilt. Then you have number 1 seed UCLA against 4 seed Minnesota. 3rd seed Duke against 2 seed LSU. You have 1 seed South Carolina, 4 seed Oklahoma. You have the 3rd seed TCU against the surprise of the tournament for the one side, 10th seed Virginia. Then you have the number 1 seed Texas. So the Longhorns are doing very well in both tournaments against the 5 seed Kentucky. Then you have a 3rd seed Louisville against the 2 seed Michigan. On the women's side, the teams that were supposed to win won.
Except for Virginia.
Except for Virginia. You have all 4 of your 1 seeds made it through. You have 3 of your 2 seeds, they made it through. You have 3 of your 3rd seeds. You have 3 of your 4th seeds. You got a 5th seed, a 6th seed, and then your 10th seed, Virginia, who beat their respective 2 seed, Iowa. So, if anybody's looking for Cinderella stories, look for the men's Texas team and the women's Virginia team to maybe surprise us going into the last couple rounds of March Madness. That about does it for my basketball.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it going with the women over here with the PWHL.
Keep her up.
I did a little bit different this week. I'm going with teams to watch.
Ooh.
I already said the Charge and the Scepters are going to be playing 3 times. They don't play against each other until our next podcast. I want to focus on Fleet, Victoire, and Frost.
Okay.
Which, surprisingly, they all play against each other this week. So, Fleet on the 27th are playing against Toronto. And then on the 29th are playing against Minnesota. Victoire on the 25th are playing against Minnesota. On the 28th, they're playing against New York. Frost, which is Minnesota, on the 25th is playing against Montreal.
Yep.
And on the 29th is playing against Boston. So there is a lot of top teams playing against top teams.
It's a lot of elites intermingling here. In
These guys are fighting for that top 1 to pick who they're playing against.
Yeah.
Now, if we go to the NHL, I couldn't just do 1 game a day. We are at the end of the year. It is getting tight. A lot of games mean a lot of for the players, for the points, for the standings. So we're going to start with today. March 24th, Carolina versus Montreal. Montreal won 5-2 after Carolina scoring 2 goals and Montreal answering with 5 unanswered goals. I was pretty happy.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
Now, Wednesday, Boston versus Buffalo. Boston is fighting in a tight playoff race, as everybody is in the Eastern, except for Rangers, Florida, and Toronto.
Look, all I'm saying is that most of the Eastern Conference would be at the top of the Pacific.
Yeah. Buffalo is trying to create even more separation between them and Carolina, or create separation between them to try to get that number 1 seed in the conference. Thursday, now here's where we get to 1 and 2 and 3 games. Thursday, Edmonton versus Vegas.
Yeah.
They're Pacific top 3. They're fighting for positioning, trying to overtake maybe the Ducks or not be in the wild card. Pittsburgh versus Ottawa. Ottawa is in the wild card as it stands. Pittsburgh is 3rd in the Metropolitan. It is tight.
They are a point different.
Yeah, they need the win. They both need points. Ottawa's clawing itself into these playoffs, which is kind of fun for us because finally get a 3rd Canadian team in these damn playoffs.
Right.
And they're not even safe. Friday, Detroit versus Buffalo. It's an important game for the Red Wings. They need this win to keep going. Now, me personally, because of my hot take on episode 8, I don't want the Red Wings to do all that good. But,
I mean, they're up against Buffalo, so
yeah.
odds are.
Now, Saturday. I do not have time to say why these games are important. So I'm just going to shoot them. Utah, LA again. Again, they're both fighting for playoff. Anaheim and Edmonton, that is the top of the Pacific Division, so they will be fighting for every point they get to create separation between each other or positioning. Washington versus Vegas. Washington is currently outside of the playoffs by about 7 points. Meanwhile, Vegas is fighting for that Pacific spot, which I'm pretty sure they are 3rd, every point considered, and I'm pretty sure they want to face the number 1 wildcard instead of Edmonton or Ducks. Boston versus Minnesota. This is important for Boston. They need the win. Minnesota doesn't really care. They're pretty much locked in the playoffs as the third. They're just waiting to see if they're playing against Dallas or Avalanche. Dallas versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is top 3, but they are not safe. They need every point they can get to win, and they need them now. Dallas are trying to claw at that number 1 spot to Avalanche to get the easier matchup. I don't think it'll happen, but all the kudos to them.
I mean, they're 7 points behind the Avs. Avs have a game on them.
Yeah.
So it'll be tough.
Sunday, March 29th, Montreal versus Carolina. Again, big game in the Eastern Conference. Carolina still needs the points. They're kind of comfortable, but not comfortable. Montreal absolutely needs the point because it is a tight race. I think they're sitting at 88 right now.
Yep.
Again, Boston versus Columbus. Columbus is hot right now. They are, I think, second in the Metro. They need to keep winning to stay that way. Boston is clawing at the wild card. They should be at the first wild card spot, but they are either tied or 1 point ahead of the person that is behind them, and they're all kind of the same games have played.
Bruins are 71 games played, 86 points, first in the wild card. Senators, 71 games played, 85 points, second in the wild card. Islanders, 72 games played, 85 points, third in the wild card. Red Wings, 71 games played, 84 points, fourth in the wild card.
Yeah, so
It is, as you said, tight.
And the last game I want to talk about, it is the Pittsburgh versus Islander, a interdivisional matchup. Both needs point. Whoever wins this is probably going to get that number 3 spot. Or if they both go to overtime, then Pittsburgh will keep their number 3 and Islanders will most likely, depending on the rest of the week, go into that wild card. I do not expect Hurricanes to move from that number 1 this week. The top 3 Atlantic, I don't think will change. Montreal is doing good as of now. Lightning is being Lightning. Sabres, godly. The wild card, unpredictable because 1 to 5 of the wild card race can be whichever person. This is playoff time. This is my favorite time. Some teams are already in playoff mode to try to get into the playoffs. We're getting more physical game. We're getting more intensity, more speed, more wow factor. This is my favorite time of the seasons before the playoffs. Now, before we hand it out to Jay over here, do we want to do our hometown heroes or do we want to let Jay talk for a little bit first?
Now let's get our hometown heroes because we are hitting after hours and I don't want to corrupt our teams with that thing sitting across the table from me.
So the Blades, let's keep it hockey real quick. Blades won against Brandon 6-2 and then proceeded to lose twice against PA to 4-0 on both games. Now PA is the top team. Now, I did some research. The playoff format is pretty simple. 1 through 16. 1 plays 16, 2 plays, but on each side. So technically it's 1 to 8. 1 plays 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, and 4, and 5. So playoff starts this weekend. We do not get home advantage. So that means that we finished 5th, at least. Or at most, actually. We are facing the Edmonton Oil Kings. Friday and Sunday are when the games are on at Edmonton. Yeah. And then Monday and Wednesday are when they're back in Saskatoon. So I'm going to try and see if I can get one of these games.
Let's make it work.
Yeah. I know for a fact, talking about games that we want to go to, we are going to most likely go to the Rush game this weekend.
It'd be criminal if we don't.
Yeah. They're playing against the Bandits. They just actually lost against Toronto 13-9.
Oh dear.
So the Rush will probably try to bring this back into a win because the Rush and Vancouver are playing for that top spot.
Yeah. I mean, the Rush have a few reasons to win this weekend. They need the wins. They need the standings position, but also unveiling some new jerseys.
Yeah, there's an auction for the new like Texas style jersey with the
Yeah, a little fan creation.
bullhead or something. I did also do some research for the playoff format for the Rush. I was on a roll for these playoff. This one's actually kind of fun. First round is a single elimination.
Okay.
You play one game, win or lose, out, or you keep going. The second round, which is the semifinals, and the finals are best of 3. Now, 8 teams make it. 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5.
Yeah.
The top 4 teams secure home turf until a higher seed.
Okay, so pretty
Takes
standard.
Pretty standard,
you know.
except for the first round, which is the quarterfinals single elimination.
Yeah.
So when you're in the playoffs, it ain't over. You need that one win.
Oh,
After that, you don't want to lose, but you can afford a loss. But it's not the mentality you should be going into here. You should be
goodness,
going in as we going.
I mean, best of threes are also tough. If you lose that first game,
Yeah.
it's not like a 7-game series where you can just
Yeah, exactly.
lose a couple.
There
comeback.
is, if I'm not mistaken, 3 more weeks after this week for the Rush, which I think the Rush have 2 more games, 2 or 3. But yeah, we are fighting for that number 1 spot against Vancouver. Colorado has been going downwards slightly. They've lost, I think, their last 2. So, but at the same time, the Rush has lost the last 3 of 4. So
the Rush have had a bit of a rocky last few weeks. So
yeah, Rocky, because they played
Rocky.
against Toronto. Rocky.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. Now, unfortunately, we do have to send you to After Hours with Jay. So before we do, it was fun hearing from you guys, and hopefully we're back here next week.
well, I mean, we're either about to get demonetized or canceled. So we'll pick our poison.
Yeah. So without further ado, After Hours Jay.
Hello, my beautiful audience. This week,
He called us beautiful, Miggy. We're the only ones he can see.
No.
He was looking at me.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at the mic.
Damn.
Upstaged by a microphone.
Yeah. I've been working on my curls.
Anyway, this week I don't have much other than a few crash outs, as usual. Cricket. The only notable thing going on in cricket right now is South Africa versus New Zealand, the grudge match of best of 5. Currently, they are tied 2-2.
Oh, there goes my prediction of South Africa just winning 5.
The game score is 2-2. The final game is being played in 1 hour.
Oh, lovely.
The scores for those games: Game 1, absolute blowout by South Africa. New Zealand all out in 91 runs. South Africa crushed that target. Second game, New Zealand ruined South Africa with a target of 177, and South Africa all out at 107. Third game, New Zealand again. South Africa setting a target of 137. New Zealand easily reaching it in the 17th over. Fourth game, South Africa setting a target of 165. And New Zealand all out at 145. So game 5, it's looking like a close one.
I predict a blowout. I don't know which direction. Somebody's getting steamrolled.
Upwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ball's going out. So keep an eye out on that. Now, that is it for cricket, because nothing important is going on, because one of the biggest tournaments is about to start in 2 weeks.
It's all preparation from here.
F1. This weekend, there was nothing. This was a break weekend between the Chinese Grand Prix and the Japanese Grand Prix. Now, things to look out for before the Japanese Grand Prix. Max Verstappen has called the new F1 racing Mario Kart on multiple occasions. He joined the Nürburgring lap, won it. Now, his team did get disqualified due to a minor error of miscounting their sets of tires they had. Now, this is not Red Bull's fault. I'll keep that clear because the team is not managed by Red Bull. It is just sponsored by Red Bull. It's Windward Gaming. Sorry. Let me get that double checked. It's Windward Racing, not gaming. Windward Racing. The team got nicknamed Beginners because this was a beginner mistake, as they had miscounted the sets of tires allowed.
Rookies. So Verstappen went from a shitbox car to a shitbox pit stop.
Yes, but in post-race interviews, he said that he actually enjoyed racing GT3 more than the F1.
Da, da, da.
I mean, with the current state of F1, I don't blame him.
Now, he did have his grievances with the team, as they did lose him the championship, right? They did lose him the win. So these were his comments on the team. It was a huge beginner's mistake, a mistake by the team. I know the team. My son also drove for it, and I'm also familiar with the team manager. I was not surprised that this happened. In the past, a lot of things happened here. They don't take it seriously and seem to have other priorities than focusing on the essentials, so it doesn't surprise me at all. If Max Verstappen participates, you check everything 2 or even 3 times, and then you manage to count a set of tires incorrectly or make a wrong choice. It's just as bad as that time when Ferrari was ready for a 3-tire pit stop.
So Max is admitting ignorance?
Well, he had no say in the matter, right?
But he raced knowing that they were probably going to screw up.
Well, he had expected some form of mistake, nothing as disqualifying as this was. Because he did win the race by, I shit you not, an entire minute.
Yeah.
So even if they got a time penalty because of a mistake, he had enough of a buffer.
Yeah.
To still win.
They just happened to make a mistake that just made everything null and void.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did not expect this big of a mistake, but he did expect a mistake. So that's what happened. Now, F1, pre-Japanese Grand Prix, Aston Martin are fielding their third seat driver instead of Fernando Alonso, as Alonso is having a bit of trouble with his hands. The circuit is very much power hungry. It's notorious for being power hungry, and Honda has yet to deliver an adequate engine. So
they're not going to compete if they even finish the race.
Yeah. So Jack Crawford, during the FP1 at this weekend, so Jack Crawford will be taking the seat in the car of Fernando Alonso.
Okay.
That is it for F1, honestly. No new newses. News. So as you can tell, it's not my first language.
So we're just waiting for the next Grand Prix weekend.
Yeah, the next weekend, Japanese Grand Prix. Now, we come to esports.
All right, boys, get your blast shields. This ain't gonna be pretty.
Hold the line!
BLG won the first stand tournament. After
who they face in the finals?
G2. Now, for the uninitiated in esports.
Looking at you, Miggy.
Yeah, I know, bud.
G2 esports, BLG. Coughing baby, hydrogen bomb.
Avalanche? Vancouver.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, G2 Esports, who beat Gen G in the semifinals. Coughing Baby.
Bigger
Universal threat.
Bigger hydrogen bomb. G2 is Vancouver. BLG is Dallas. Gen G is Colorado.
No. You got Vancouver. You got Avalanche. And you got a team of Gretzky.
There you go.
I like that.
Because Gen G's roster currently is best in slot in every role.
Gretzky
Gretzky.
and Patrick Roy.
Right? For soccer terms, it's a team of Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona, Messi, Neymar. It is just not fair.
They should just walk in and win before the monitor.
Now, keep in mind, Gen G's match history prior to losing to G2 is they had only dropped a game to Fear X this year.
You know, man, shout out to Fear X, though. Shout out to my boys.
Shout out to my boys that made it to the fucking top 8.
they genuinely beat up T1 anyways.
But yeah. Now, G2, prior to coming into the match with Gen G, beat Fear X 3-0. This team, this European laughingstock of a team, lost to Los Ratones during regular season.
The content team.
And then went 6-0 against the best region. And took the first game off of BLG.
Wait, I thought you said BLG 3-0'd them in the final. It was a 3-2.
It was a 3-1.
It was a 3-1.
The first game went to G2. Now, keep in mind, the series versus series G2 and Gen G was not close.
G2 rolled Gen G.
There was a game score. I kid you not. Let's see. I will get my numbers checked. Because what the fuck? There was a game score of Gen G G2. Game, I think, Game 1. G2 had 16 kills. Gen G in response had 4. G2 won by 13,000 gold in 32 minutes.
32. Their gold lead was nearly 1,000 every 3 minutes.
Damn.
Now, Keen got his Renekton and got rolled by Broken Blade's Scion.
Man, I'm an avid Broken Blade hater, and he styled on Gen G some of these in all of these games.
Game 2. Keen, Gen G's top laner, had a bit of an identity crisis thinking he was Zeus and picked Wayne top.
In game 2 of Fearless?
In game 2 of Fearless Draft, he picked Wayne top. Now,
Was it at least a counter pick?
It was blue side pick 5.
Okay, so yeah.
So it was as late as he could get it.
Yeah.
Now, actually, it was a counter pick because Cassante was picked on red side pick 4.
Huh. Okay, anyway, continue.
Right? Now, I will read this draft to you from Gen G. Chris, bear with me here because I am about to choke their coach. Wayne top.
Yep.
Vi jungle. Ari mid lane. Makes sense.
Workable, especially with Vayne counterpick and Ari Vi mid jungle duo. I don't mind it.
Sivir Alistar in the bot lane.
In isolation,
Amazing.
I don't mind it.
Now, you see, the thing is, I do not mind this draft until I look at the enemy team's draft.
Yeah.
Because the enemy team's draft is Cassante, Zahen, Victor, Varus, Braum.
So what you're telling me is that G2's comp screams 3 buff guys jump on you and then the 2 twinks shoot from half a screen from 3 screens away.
And
It screams that. You cannot play that any differently. And Gen G
gave them 4 targets.
and an Alistar to waddle away with his
To bang his cowbell to give them background music.
whoosh. You can't
You can't make this shit up.
Here's the other thing is that Vi Ari are skirmish pick champions. Sivir Alistar,
Team fight.
that is front to back,
Team fight.
not pick and win 5v4. No, that is I want 5v5.
I want 5v5 and I want my boomerangs to go.
Yeah.
Bang bang.
Right? And then Vayne is I don't even know how to describe Vayne at this point because it is just hyperscaling tank counter.
Yeah.
My point is though, Gen G has a comp that is actually 3 completely different fighting styles. And they put that into those?
Uh-huh. Now, game 3. The draft is looking a bit more normal. But the game score 16-3.
Oh, it got worse?
It got worse. They got stomped harder. Now, G2's comp, honestly, admirable. Holy shit, that is a good comp. Shen, Jarvan, 2 beefy boys,
Yeah.
Akali, Kog'Maw, Lulu.
I mean, I don't mind it, right? Like you've got double engaged tank, you've got an assassin for picks, and you've got I spit on you and you lose all your health.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I don't mind Gen G's comp either. Gwen, Ambessa, Azir,
AP solo laners and an AD jungler.
Yunara, Nico.
The Nico being paired with Yunara bugs me a little bit,
I
but I get it.
I don't mind it because the Nico has Ambessa Azir to play with.
That's true. That's true.
Like, that is a proper dive comp.
Yeah.
With Yunara as your... If it devolves into a team fight, we do have DPS.
Yeah.
It's just the bot lane got rolled.
They just got outplayed.
Yeah.
I mean...
Like, Ruler, I know you were memeing throughout the entire early season that you're getting old and you're getting up there in age. But brother, those reaction times ain't it anymore.
Brother, you're not that old. Get it together.
Now, G2 did throw the entire series against BLG for a soul point. So they were back to their shenanigans. They had their souls taken over by Faker for a bit.
Yeah.
But they are back to their shenanigans.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a miracle that they made it past Gen G to begin with and then take a game from BLG. If I'm a G2 or even just an LEC fan,
I take it.
I
But honestly, we do dog on the LEC as a region quite a bit.
well, yeah. We're from North America. We know what shit looks like.
Right? The thing is...
Talking to you, LCS.
The thing is, LEC has been the region for the past 2 years who has gotten their team to an international final.
That's true. That's true. They do have accolades.
Yeah.
To at least.
But then I look
speak
at their regular season. And then I go, what is this clown fiesta?
Oh, man. The LEC regular season is just paper division and the team they send to international final is just all of those sheets of paper just crumpled up, and you put a few rubber bands around it, and you hope that you just like David and Goliath this shit. That's all the LEC is.
Yes.
The paper ball and the bands, it's the teams, and then the region itself is the slingshot.
Now, I may sound like a traitor here, but North America's best player is a European.
I mean, yes. North America's best league team has never been North American players. I mean, the best North American player is Masu right now.
Yes.
Right? And he's a great ADC player. He was a great rookie. But, right? Like, there's nothing after that.
Yeah.
Right? Even the LCS, which is even more of a laughingstock than the LEC, is still Koreans and Europeans.
True. Now, all I'm saying is LCS and LEC. You do not need to play the Eastern game. Play your own champions. Play your own game. And for the love of God, have the balls to just go in 1v5 and die. Because at the end of the day, it is a video game.
Yeah. It's a video game. If you're gonna lose,
do it at least in a funny way.
Yeah.
As well as, you're not playing in Korea where you're going to get, funeral wreaths sent to your house if you misplay in League of Legends.
The league scene here is just not big enough for that.
Right.
Not the pro scene, at least.
You're not getting death threats over missing a flash.
You're the best in the region. You get paid livable wage. You get to play video games. Just balls to the walls it.
Right.
Because you can't outskill them.
They will just slowly bleed you.
You might as well out monkey brain them.
Exactly.
Like, if they're gonna bleed you dry, you might as well take them by the horns and start swinging them around.
Right.
Like,
but that is my crash out. Now, regular season for every region starts in the next week. So,
because the next major tournament
is MSI, Mid-Season Invitational.
Yeah, MSI, that'll be coming up. So.
Which will be held in China, I think.
We'll double check our facts on that for next week, but teams are looking towards MSI, and then once that's passed, it'll be Worlds all over again.
Worlds all over again.
So.
And I'm still betting T1 for the World's winners.
They're just going to sandbag the whole regular season again. We know this.
Yes.
We know this.
All they have been doing is playing ARAM Mayhem as 5-man.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? You go home from a 12-hour shift. You just want to play some, funny League of Legends. That's not even serious because this is, ARAM Mayhem. This is the funny mode.
This is literally, I ram my face into other people's faces and gamble at the same time.
And then and the enemy team is the entirety of T1 roster.
I went home to play my video game and have a good time. Then I was diddled by the sweatiest, non-grass touching.
Now, I have a screenshot, by the way, of the draft that these fuckers had in that ARAM Mayhem game that they played.
Oh, no.
They were on their signature champs. All of them have a skin on those champions.
Yikes.
You get into an ARAM game,
and you run into a fucking Faker Galio.
You see the name tags and you're like, there's no way. They're all matching skins? There's no way. Mom!
Right? Like, these fuckers are just enjoying life. They're enjoying this break. I feel like they sandbag against BFX just to have a break.
Just so they didn't have to go to first stand. They lost because they just didn't want to go. That would be so don't like them is the thing. Like,
this is not out of the plausibilities.
like I'm trying to...
Like, these are 5 trollers.
Like, I'm trying to joke, and I'm laughing, but I'm dead serious. They probably did just say, no, we want vacation instead. Okay, well...
That is it.
You know, it's always good when the crash out ends with laughs. So, Jay, you good?
I'm good.
Miggy, you're good?
Mind if I take this one?
Well, I'm good. So I will hand you guys off to Miggy for the send-off.
All right. Yeah, thanks you guys for listening. You can follow us on Instagram on TTTpod75. We post when we record and all the fun stuff too, like Chris's bracket. We will try to post a little bit more just to be more interactive with you guys. But I do want to say thank you for listening to us. It is episode 12. We are having fun doing this. We are big sports guys and all that stuff. So for the odd few of you guys who take the time to listen to our podcast, thank you very much. And the mic is turning off.
Get out of here.